Hello, my Aloha tribe, and welcome to the Aloha Perspective. How is everyone today? Happy Monday. It is Hodgepodge Monday. Hodgepodge Monday. Which basically means anything goes today. Right. So, I'm just gonna wait for a few people to come on. I know. I don't know why I always giggle at the beginning when I'm like, I'm waiting for people to come on, but it just happens. It's just kind of my personality. So, anyways, good morning, older sibling. I already shuffled the guidance cards for the morning, and for anyone that's new, I usually do these while I'm waiting for people to come on, so that you don't just see me doing stuff at my desk and ignoring people. So, let's get going. For today's Hodgepodge Monday, though, I'm just doing the Affirmators deck. So I thought we'd get back to these for a little bit, and, every so often subjects do come up, and I'm excited about it. Oh, I got to use my wax seals this weekend. So happy about these. I've been using them for years, and then I forget that I have them, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, that's right, I'm going to use them again. So I get really excited about little things. Little things make me happy. So anyways, the first one. Pura Vida, Costa Rica. Live free. By your rules, just be you. Live free by your rules, just be you. I like this. I like this because it is really true. I know, we're now in, to kind of go into the metaphysical zone of this, we're in Aries season now, and Aries is the very first sign on the zodiac. So a lot of people tend to think of even April 1st as being new beginnings, new seasons. It's spring now, right? We're in the swing of spring, and it is, like I said, Aries season now. And with the first new moon, a lot of times people consider that to be the start of new beginnings, the start of new things. And for me, it's been like a new chapter, right? I mean, I turned the page on all the icky stuff in the past, chose to just carry the good stuff through. But in the meantime of doing that, I thought, well, how can I share my story if I'm not attached to my past somehow, if I'm not attached to that pain? It's very simple. You just share your story. You don't need to have the pain. You've lived it. You've been there. You've done that. Sometimes it's hard to let go. And if you feel like it's still holding on to you, don't panic. Don't worry. It just means there's still more that needs to be healed. Okay, so when you're ready, you will move on. And when I say move on, nobody likes to carry the pain. You can carry the good memories with you, and you can move forward with those. But you have to move on and find a way to move on from the pain. You do not need to feel your pain to share your story. Sometimes in the beginning, it's really what kind of drives when people choose to share their stories, like I do. I have a lot of other people that have. Not everybody has to. You don't have to if you're not comfortable with it. There's just some of us who are really good at, the gift of writing, the gift of gab, the gift of, just putting all of our shit out there for the world to see. And it's literally like running around emotionally naked. Okay? But like many others before me, like many others after me, and like people who are still doing it now, like me, along with everybody else, we do it because we know as long as it helps even just one person, it's worth it. And sometimes you have to find a way to live free. You have to live free from your pain. If you haven't had anything happen to you in the past or been traumatized by things, still just live by your own rules. Sometimes we get caught up in what everybody else thinks we should be doing. Sometimes we get caught up in what everybody else thinks we should do with our life. Or sometimes, especially when we're younger, we get caught up with people who we want to feel cool with. So we'll do anything they say, right? And sometimes you got to be the one that steps away from the crowd if they don't vibe with you, if they don't jive with you, because we have to live our own life. We have to choose our own path. And when something is not vibrating correctly with you, it means that it's not meant for you. It's not, maybe it was a lesson in time. Maybe it was something like, I just said you were supposed to learn or grow from, or maybe it adds to your personal growth and your healing. But, or maybe you're meant to help people like that, to say, hey, to be the voice of reason in a group of mean ickiness. Sometimes people just do it because they want to be seen, because maybe they're not seen somewhere else. So they feel that they have to do these things to get the attention when they don't. Just be your loving, joyful, charismatic self. The people that are meant to be in your life will flock to you. And just as you will flock to their lives, right? So, next one. Got a little deep there, didn't I? Do you need to view this situation through different lenses? Perspective. We had this last week. Do you need to view this situation through different lenses? Perspective. That kind of goes with this. Okay. Sometimes we need to step out of the box. Have you ever noticed that, okay, so as an example, and I'm not saying this any more than it's an example, I am single, but surprisingly, a lot of people actually come to me for advice. And I thought about it one night. It's like, I'm not in a relationship. Why are people coming to me? But then I realized, because even when I asked them, it's like, well, why are you asking me? And it's like, well, I don't know. I just figured you always give good advice, so I thought maybe you could give me some guidance on this. But then I realized, whether you're in a relationship or not, but for me, I thought about, why is it? It's because I'm able to stand outside of the box. And I think anybody in a relationship or not in a relationship can do that. But over the last several bazillion years, I have been able to form an opinion based right in the middle. I see both sides, regardless of who the person is. Sometimes it's family. And sometimes you got to be the brave one to put family back in their place. And you don't want to be, because you don't want them to be mad, but sometimes you have to show them their behavior for them to understand. I've had people do that. I've had family members and friends and even adopted siblings who have been brave enough to show me my flaws. And it's not like they're holding up a mirror to you saying, look, you do this too. No, it's like, what have you ever thought about? They put it in the form of a question, because then you have to question yourself. I gave a family member a compliment this weekend, and they were just like, no, it's because of so-and-so. And I'm like, just take the compliment. I'm not good at taking compliments. To which I replied to them, neither am I, and you make me take them. So I'm just returning the favor. And sometimes it's just what we have to do. Don't be mean about it. Just be kind and honest about it. But don't be afraid to kind of step into that neutral area and say, look, I've seen how you act sometimes. I've seen this, that, or the other. Maybe you need to step out of the box and take a look in. So sometimes when you need to view things through different through different lenses and get a different perspective, step outside of the box. Try to put yourself in the other person's shoes. A lot of times we don't do that. Imagine if everybody who got into an argument suddenly switched bodies. Right? We suddenly switch bodies. What are they viewing through their eyes that we can now see? I bet a lot of arguments would probably quickly go away. Maybe, but I'm hopeful that would be the case. You don't need wings to fly. You don't need wings to fly. Everybody has the potential to figuratively fly in their lives. Whether you're attaching balloons to yourself, which I don't advise, because we've seen that happen and it does not end well, usually. What I take this to mean is that when it says you don't need wings to fly, to me, it simply means this. When you believe in yourself and you believe that you are capable of anything, you can do great things. Sometimes the number one killer of our dreams is ourself. I mean, if sometimes we head down different paths, right now I'm working on a hobby that I would have never seen coming a year ago. I've been I needed a creative outlet because of my, in a way to deal with the depression and the anxiety. And I'm not used to having anxiety. So having them together was like a whole new adventure. And it still comes along, but writing wasn't working because when I get into these states, it's hard for me to push through. So I needed a different creative outlet to kind of open my brain. so that, you know, it's kind of like the opening act, right, for the writing, is I started creating earrings. Now I'm not really creating them. I'm just repurposing a lot of stuff that I find in secondhand stores that I purposely go to visit just for these things. And because a lot of people throw a lot of cool shit away. And sorry. And I started repurposing things. I bought charms. Sometimes I make my own things out of them. Sometimes I put things together. I tear things apart. I recently made a bracelet out of a necklace for a friend, and I added charms to it. So I'm not creating my own materials, but I'm using these materials and putting things together. And I actually sold my first actual pair this weekend. And I'm excited about it because I've had a few sold before, but they were kind of they were asked for basically. But a pair that I just randomly made, or that I randomly put together, just you know, and it was just like, wow, you know, I never thought I'd make money off of this. This is just something that, you know, it gets me out of my head, but it also sparks that creativity in me. Because not everything is going to match in our lives. And when you get charms, sometimes you just have to be a little whimsical with them. But it's also helping me do that. It's helping me to step out of the traditional box of what we normally see. And to really help me think outside of the box and get creative. So sometimes when these things hit you, just give it a whirl. Give it a shot. You know, like I said, I never thought that this would be a path I would be on. And I'm not sure if it's a permanent path. But right now, it's helping me to get out of my head and get back into who I am. Cool. Congratulations. You have succeeded. Pat yourself on the back. Maybe that's a sign. The Triwizard Cup. Woohoo. Well, we all know how that ended when in the Harry Potter books. And I think it's book number 4. But anyways, congratulations. You have succeeded. Pat yourself on the back. Pat yourself on the back. So if you've been working on something hard and heavy, and you know, you keep wondering if you're doing the right thing, you're on the right path. Even if it doesn't feel like you're on the right path, you're on the right path. So don't give up on yourself, okay? Don't quit. Okay, so I mean, just to be honest with you, just circling back to the earrings really quick, on the cards that I put them on some of them, I've been putting the seals, and the only reason I brought that up is because it reminded me that I have seals. I know, I love writing letters. I am a bona fide certified letter writer when I want to be. And I really do miss writing letters. Writing letters is so much fun. So anyways, one more, and then we'll get to the affirmators deck. Life is good if you allow it. Life is good if you allow it. You might be saying, well, how can life be good if I allow it? You have to choose to be happy. You have to choose what mood you want to be in. Okay? If you feel yourself going down a dark hole, sometimes that can't be helped. But you have to choose to believe that you are going to come out of this dark hole. Okay? Sometimes it's the one thing that saves me is I know that even if I can't stop the spiral, that I can in some way be in control of it by reminding myself that this too shall pass. This isn't a forever feeling. This is not going to go on forever. And that I have come out of this before, I will come out of it again. So again, I have, like I said, I have a post-it right behind this camera that says, choose to be happy. It's all it says, choose to be happy. And another note next to it that says, be better than I was yesterday. And I had to move that post-it to where it is now because, there are always going to be things. They're going to poke at you and try to make you feel like, oh my God, what is happening here? And I sadly, over the, several days of Thursday, Friday, Saturday, really kind of gave into that. Sometimes it was because I was hungry. I know. And that's controllable, right? Eat something. And other times because I was PMSing. And, TMI. But we can only use those as an excuse to a certain degree. Because when you know it's coming, you know what you have to do to calm yourself down. And sometimes we don't. Sometimes we we step in that line of fire and say, oh yeah, well, show me what you got. And then we fall down. And doesn't always work out the way we think it's going to work out. And then we get pissed, right? Like someone's throwing rocks and you're like, oh yeah, well, you can't hit me. And you think you're going to dodge one. Then you get nailed with a rock, right? And you're pissed, you're mad, you're angry, and you start lashing out. And I'm not proud of my behavior, but I'm being honest about it because I think, we have to allow the good. If you're a person who lives a very stellar life, there's always going to be something that's going to try to knock you off your game. And we have to learn how to take that deep breath, to take that moment, to just step back, to just kind of, even if you have to do that, just like, whoa, wait, I was about to go down a dark hole there. And I don't want to do that because I'm in control right now. And we just have to make that, we have to make that effort, So let's get to the Affirmators deck. Ooh, ideal partnership. Ideal partnership. So with these decks, there's a red or pink, a pink, yellow, and black one. Well, sorry, black one. And I've already shuffled these. I shuffled these a while ago, and all I do is pull the card from the top. So let's see what this one has to say. Cheese and wine. That is an ideal partnership. I prefer white wine, but red's good too. A really good red will not give me heartburn. A regular red will, which is why I prefer white. I know. Why am I even bothering to say this? You don't need to know this. But let's see. I love cheese. Cheese is a weakness. Cheese and bread. I should have been born in France. And then I'd probably hate cheese and bread. But I know. I'm sorry, you guys. Like I said, PMS leads to something else, which just totally whacks out my brain for a few days. So it's going to be interesting. I am a rare and precious find, and my brilliance will be reflected back to me when I am paired with a true match. My ideal partnerships and working relationships are easy and free-flowing. I deserve greatness because I am greatness. And to paraphrase Rumi, I love the Prophet Rumi, what I'm looking for is also looking for me. In fact, he or she might be paraphrasing Rumi right now. So there you go. What I'm looking for is also looking for me. So, I'm thinking. It was a rough one. Was he just talking about being single and giving advice? Be patient. I know. The last thing anybody ever wants to hear is be patient, right? But be patient. Let things come to you. Let things flow to you. Let things happen. When you try to control the flow of something and you try to bring something into your life that is not meant for you, it's not going to work out. It is going to backfire, and it's going to keep doing that until you just allow what is meant to be in your life to be in your life. People might say, oh, well, I've been dating forever and it sucks and it's just humiliating. And yeah, it can be all those things. But for some people, that's how, you find your ideal partnership. And, you're learning things along the way through each relationship. It took me years to understand that even though I have dated in the past and had failed relationships, they weren't really failures. They were just stepping stones to whatever greatness will be coming my way. Right? And don't put pressure on yourselves. All right. When you get with somebody, oh my God, am I their greatness? Just go with the flow. Don't overthink it. Don't step into this place where, you're on date number 2 planning your wedding. Some people do. Some people just run off and do it. If that's the case, fine. But what I'm saying is, if that's not the case, just relax. Enjoy it. Enjoy the ride. Don't keep sitting there wondering, is this the one? Because if you do that, you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot and you're not allowing yourself to enjoy this process. I know that being alone is hard. Okay? Trust me. I understand this. When I tell people how long I've been single, they literally, I think, are going to faint. But I've had a lot to work out in my life. And I realized that a lot of that time I was single was because I was afraid to be into something, because I didn't want to be hurt. And then when I finally understood that, and I finally understood that I needed to start healing myself before I could be functional on a almost normal level. I'm never going to be normal. I realized I had to heal the things inside of me. And sometimes I know we want to be with someone so they can help us through it. And for some people, they get that. But I chose to do this alone. I knew, I'm going to step out of my box for a second and do this whole metaphysical thing. But I knew that I had to come here in this life and heal whatever I needed to heal across the board. And yes, shitty things happened to me in this life, very early on in this life. So I had more things to heal. But I also found my strength in that. Now, that doesn't mean if somebody helps you heal that there's not strength. It takes strength, because a lot of times it takes strength to ask for help. I didn't do this by myself. I didn't do it in a relationship, not the traditional kind that you would think of, but I did it with my family, with my friends, with my soul sisters, mostly with my soul sisters. Baby sibling, older sibling, even Sissy before she passed. I learned a lot of lessons from her. I'm still learning lessons from her this last week. And some friends, even some friends that are able to pop onto the perspective every now and then. They have reminded me, they have given me nuggets of wisdom in some of the talks that we've had. My bestie for like a bazillion years. Even he has reminded me of certain things. He reminded me of the person I was a long time ago, before all these new memories to be healed resurfaced. And I thought, well, who was that person? Because I don't remember that person. But apparently there was that part of me that just shined. And for some reason, over the last couple of years, when I did start taking on that active role of healing my soul, I lost that person. And now I'm remembering, oh my gosh, there were two parts of me. And I let that part shine for a long time. While sadly, the other side just kind of festered and got angrier and darker and sadder. And then that person just kind of took over for a while. And maybe that's where my struggle with the balance is. For me right now, my ideal partnership has actually been with myself. Because I'm going to tell you, this isn't for any other reason but informational purposes. I knew I needed to fix myself. So when I do find that perfect match, whether I have to date a bunch of people or it just happens, I'll be able to function. I'll be able to function like a level-headed person for the most part. We're still human. We're all going to have our insecurities. We're all going to be like, but I'm not going to freak out about it. I'm going to stop and remind myself to think. I'm going to reach out to people when I can't get my head in order and say, hey, please, I need you to set me straight because I'm being stupid right now and I don't want to mess things up. It gives us the capacity to be vulnerable enough that we can open up, that we can communicate, that we can trust, our souls to other people. We can trust our hearts to other people, that other people are going to take care of it along with us. They're going to help us. We're going to nurture each other's hearts. We're going to nurture each other's souls. And if you really stop to think about it, you do that already. You do that with your best friends, with your closest family members. If you're married and have kids, you do it with your family. If you have grandkids, you do it with them. You trust parts of yourself to certain people because you know that it does take a village. It doesn't just take a village to raise a child. It takes a village to keep all of us in check. It's a community. It's your tribe. It's your people. And I think sometimes we forget that. I think sometimes we forget that we are not an island. We don't have to be an island. Right? What was that Simon and Garfunkel song? I'm a rock, I'm an island. I know, I wasn't going to sing it, sorry. Um, when I was a kid, I used to just think that and think, oh, okay, whatever. When I got older, I understood what it meant. And in a way, if you really, I don't know, if you want to do your own interpretations on this, and I don't know, maybe this is the correct interpretation. I know older sibling does. I mean, she like analyzes every song. If I have a question about a song, she will just look at me like, you don't know? And she'll give me the lowdown. But sometimes I think we try to be so strong that we do make ourselves an island. But it's like an island in the sea of misery, right? We're going back to the, Shelley Murray geography. The sea of misery, the wall of waves, the ocean of bliss, the island of overthinking. And that's you. You're the island of overthinking. You're the island of sadness, the island of misery, this is the island of no joy. You are the thief of your own joy. Because a lot of times I think when, especially, I've noticed this, and it could be for a lot of different reasons, but I noticed that for me, when I started the whole healing journey, that I had all those islands because I didn't know how to be happy. I'd lost that person, right? That glowy, shiny person that everybody knew. It's like, whoa, where'd she go? But I didn't realize I lost her because I didn't realize how separate I really was living my life. I didn't realize there were two me's, in the sense that there was traumatized me. And then there was me who just didn't want to think about it, didn't want to deal with it. And the other one just kept knocking and knocking and knocking and saying, you've got to let me out. You've got to heal me. You have got to, sorry, something's about to fall there. You have got to show me the way because I can't stay locked up forever. And when I kind of meditated on this, it was sad. I saw this, little inner me, like the younger me, just in this room with no windows and a locked door. And it was so dark in there. It was so sad. Because I didn't want to remember. It was the skeletons in my closet, right? And that little inner me became so feral and so angry because it had so much pain that it had to heal and get out. I'm really trying not to cry right now because I still see it so clearly in my head. But she was that little inner me, that little inner child in me. It was so feral. I'm like backed into a wall, just afraid to step into that light when you open the door and you're like, I'm so sorry, I didn't forget about you. I was trying to forget about you. I know, I'm not sure if that made sense to anyone, but that's how it felt. I knew it was there, but I didn't want to remember it was there because it hurt too much. And then finally I realized I had to swim through that painful water to get to the other side. This is going to sound terrible, but just imagine you have cuts all over your body and someone throws you into a pool of alcohol, right? And you got to swim they throw you right in the middle and you got to swim to an edge to get out. That's what it felt like. That's the only way I can describe that emotional pain when I started to heal. And does it sound scary? Does it sound super painful? Fuck yeah, it was. But I'm telling you, the light at that end of that tunnel, when I finally stepped into that light, it was the most magnificent thing I'd ever felt in my life. But then I recoiled and I got afraid. I became so afraid because I thought, I don't deserve to feel this way. But you do. You do. And I know it's kind of run way sideways of what this card means. But the reason I'm explaining all of this is because all of that pain, the relationships I chose a lot of times were because, wow, they're paying extra attention to me. Then you see them again somewhere. It's like, whoa, they're still paying attention to me. They must like me. I'm going to do this. So I think back now and I wonder, did I do it because I was drawn to them, or did I do it because I needed that attention? I needed someone to see me. And when they don't, you start to hurt and you start to feel like, God, But it's also because we don't put that energy into it. We're putting in the wrong energy. We're putting in that energy of desperation, of thinking that a relationship defines us. Relationships don't define you. And I used to say relationships shouldn't define you. They should complete you, but they shouldn't complete you either. You should be completed yourself. The relationship you have with yourself should complete you. The relationship with somebody else, whether it's a friendship or we're just going to stick with this one, right? Your perfect match. That should bring you so much joy that it just fills your cup even more, that it overflows your cup, or at least fills it to the top. Because you're able to enjoy that. You're able to say, wow, you know what? I love this feeling I have right now. And in the possible event that it doesn't work out, don't worry. It's okay. Somebody will come along. And that somebody could be your perfect match. Don't quit. Don't give up. Because sometimes we have to go through relationship, because it opens different parts of us. It opens different doors that we didn't realize were closed, or maybe we didn't even realize were there. And it helps us to think. And it also helps us to weed out what we do and don't want. Your true vibrational match will not pass you by. What is meant to be yours will not pass you by. What is meant to be yours will happen. And you just have to believe that. You have to trust. And that's been my biggest hang up. I have had a hard time trusting for a long time. Good morning, baby bear. In fact, I'm not sure I ever really truly trusted. I know in my other relationships I didn't. Because I picked wrong a lot. I can't tell you how many times I've been cheated on. But then I realized, you know what? It's okay. I mean, not okay that they did that. But what I had to learn was I had the strength to walk away. And I didn't. For a long time I didn't. Until it would just hit that really bad place where you're just like, fuck it, I'm done. You know? And I see now, because I've healed my wounds. I've healed my pain. I've swam through that pool or that ocean of rubbing alcohol with all the scratches and cuts and bruises on me. And I healed. Because believe it or not, even though alcohol hurts, right? When you put it on that wound, guess what it's doing? It's healing you. And yeah, sometimes we have to tough it out and be like, oh my God, it hurts, it hurts, it hurts, it hurts. But what is that feeling you get when it stops hurting? Right? Imagine you've gotten a cut and you put alcohol in it. You're just like, Jesus. And every swear word you know in the book comes out of your mouth. But then after, when the pain subsides, you're like, oh, I feel so much better. It's relief. It's relief. Because you've given yourself that grace. You pushed through that pain. And you came through on the other side and said, okay. And you look at it and it's like, whoa, it's a lot cleaner though. Glad it's working. So, remember that. All right. I know that this may not have felt like it really went along with the card of ideal partnership. But in a lot of ways it does, because I'm going to read this again. Let's break it down just a little bit. I'm a rare and precious find. You are. There's only one you in this world. Even if you were a twin, there is only one you in this world. Okay? So I'm a rare and precious find, and my brilliance will be reflected back to me when I am paired with a true match. My ideal partnerships and working relationships are easy and free-flowing. I deserve greatness because I am greatness. You are greatness. All right? Repeat that. I am greatness. All right? And to paraphrase Rumi, I love Rumi, what I'm looking for is also looking for me. In fact, he or she might be paraphrasing Rumi right now. Now, if you're already in a relationship, just go with the flow. Go with the flow. No relationship is perfect, right? I had to learn that in the past. I always tried to control it, and I always wanted it to be perfect. I always thought, that I don't know what I was thinking, to be honest with you. I could come up with a million things. It was so long ago that, to be honest with you, I don't know what I was thinking. I just know that I never truly felt that uber joy that I've seen other people feel. But I've also seen long-term relationships. They're not always pretty. Come on, seriously? My parents had arguments. But they were married for a very, very long time. And they got married young. I see other people who have been married for years and years and years. Or have been together for years and years and years. Maybe they don't want to get married. But they find a way to work it out. They find a way to trust each other, to believe in one another, and to re-add that grace and compassion and empathy into the relationship that sometimes I think we forget our relationships need. Whether it's a romantic relationship, a partnership, like a business partnership, work relationships, family, friends, siblings, children, parents, all those things. Sometimes we forget about the grace and the empathy and the compassion that's needed. You know, sometimes we forget to high five our kids when they do well. You know, sometimes parents, you may think your child knows, but say it anyway. And that's from experience. I had that conversation with my mom once. I'm like, why aren't you ever proud of me? She's like, I'm proud of you every day. And I was just like, what? Why don't you ever say it? Well, you should already know. And I told her, I said, it doesn't hurt to hear it. But she was, my mother was a very strong person. Because I'm like, well, Dad, you know, lets me know when I do well. And she's like, well, sometimes it worries me because I worry you're going to become soft. Seriously, no. I think my mom just worried for the wrong reasons. My mom was very, very much of her generation. Very, very much a big part, a very characteristic of her generation. But it's also how she was raised. You know, and yeah, look at older sibling. She said, Steve and I have a wonderful divorce relationship. They do. They do. They still tell each other they love each other when they hang up the phone. Because they're still best friends. They're still best friends. It was rocky for a while. But they found their relationship. They gave their relationship and their friendship the empathy and the compassion and the grace that it needed to grow into what it has become now. You know, and Baby Bear says it. Kids need to hear how proud you are and how much you love them. They do. My mom always told me she loved me. But she just always thought I knew that she was proud of me. In fact, I found a journal post that my dad had said to me, or a text, and I actually wrote it in the book that I told you about. And I forgot about it till I was reading through it the other night. And he says, you know, your mom's biggest wish was that you would publish a book. And I tell you, I have like sincere George McFly syndrome. I always worry that all the stuff I write, everybody's going to hate. But I never given myself that chance. Maybe I need to start doing that. And my dad said, that's my biggest wish too. But my mom never told me that. I had to hear it from my dad after she died. Tell your children. You know, she used to tell me early on, but then she'd be like, well, how's your book coming along? Well, you know, but my mom didn't know the things I had gone through in my life. I mean, to the extent of what I'd gone through in my life. And I never told anybody the extent until after she died. I finally told my dad everything. I broke down, told him everything. There are very few people in my life who know the extent of how bad my trauma was. Well, I guess until now, if you think about it. But she didn't know when she was alive. And a lot of those things hindered me. They left me insecure. They left me thinking I wasn't good enough. And I didn't know how to battle through that. It took my strength to make it through every single day sometimes, without even realizing that it took all my strength to make it through every single day. There were days when I didn't realize I was just existing instead of living, right? Because you don't think about it. You don't think about it. You just, it just becomes such a part of you. And I didn't know how to give myself that grace, that compassion, and that empathy. But I will say this. My mother told me all the time how much she loved me. My favorite thing, and it's so funny because every so often I'll see it, someone will just say it to me randomly, love you lots. That's how my mom used to always finish her texts and her emails to me. Or when we'd hang up the phone. So, like I said, I know I've talked a lot about how my mom and I did have a complicated relationship for a long time, but we also had a very good relationship. And not one day passed that I didn't know she loved me. And not one day passes now that I know she still loves me. But I feel, when you're a parent or you're a child, you can feel your parents' love when you're alive. And I know that sometimes I step out of the realm of thinking for some people, but I can feel my mom's love still. I can feel when she's around me. And I can honestly tell you, her love feels different. Because it feels less concerned and worried. And it feels, sometimes I could feel the judgment, not from her love, but through her other feelings, things that she was trying not to say because she was just trying to let me be my own person. But I don't feel that anymore either. I just feel this pure wave of love that I would feel when her and I would always have fun together, when we go out and do stuff, or just even sometimes sitting around when she'd hug me goodbye when I go home. Or when she would call me and see, check up on me, see how I was doing, or when we had our weekly calls. That's what I feel now, without all her worries and her concerns attached to it. And it feels good. It feels good because I know that she sees now. But I also know that she's helped me along this journey. And I know that what I went through, I wasn't weak as a child. It took every ounce of strength I had to still be sitting here today. To be able to talk about this. To be able to share my story. So that others can heal theirs. Or so that others can continue theirs. So they know they're not alone. Your ideal partnership is truly with yourself. This partnership, your true match, that's a bonus. That's a beautiful, beautiful bonus that I truly hope people get in life. No matter how many times it takes you to figure it out, no matter how many times it takes you to get to that perfect match, I hope you find that. I hope I find that. Just saying, I hope I find that. But until I do, I realize now that, I'm working on what I need to work on to benefit my own life as well. And that when that perfect match does happen, when what I'm looking for is also looking for me, and it finds me, it's going to feel magical. And it's going to feel magical not just because you're with somebody that matches you, your vibration, even if it's just for a moment in time. It's going to remind you that you are worthy. And doesn't it always come down to that? For us to look in the mirror and say, I'm worth it. I mean, isn't there a commercial? I know there's a commercial out there. I'm worth it. I cannot think of which brand it is right now, but I know there's that one. It's like, I'm worth it. You are worth it. Right? You are worth it. And I'm here to tell you that I'm worth it. You're worth it. Fill your mind with positive things. Stop putting yourself down. Stop being angry with yourself. Stop saying, like if somebody says, oh, I'm so upset right now. What I do now? Don't automatically think it's yourself. Sibling and I both have that problem. Older sibling and I both have that problem. What I do now? Maybe you didn't do anything. Maybe they're just having a bad day. Don't automatically think it's your fault. Okay? Because every single one of us, we're amazing. We're worth it. We're loving. We're lovable. We're did I already say loving? Probably. I don't know. My brain. But just know that you are, okay? Just know that you are worth it. And even if you don't feel like it, I am telling you that you are. All right? And don't try to control your life so hard that your perfect match can't find you. When you overthink it, when you try to control every single aspect of it, it's going to struggle to find you because you're tweaking, you're wrinkling your vibration. You're wrinkling that cord that stretches between you and that perfect person. you know. And like I said, none of us are perfect, but they're perfect for you. They're your match. They're your person. Don't question it. Just let it happen. Let things happen. Okay? So, I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day. Take care of yourselves. It's Monday. Happy Monday. I know. But you know what? Since it's Monday, let's just do this really quick. Let's pull the Rebel deck, right? Because I got no filter today. I got my fucking period. So, I know. Sorry. It just... what did I just say? I have no filter. So... that one's boring. Okay, now, gosh, what is happening here? Why can't I? Okay, here. All right, we're just gonna shuffle and see what flies out of the deck, because the first ones, they're all about sleeping. Don't sleep. Oh, wow. Okay, oops. Oh, wow. Well, all right, first one, take a shot. Don't take 12, take 1, okay, maybe 2, and then move on. Shoot your shot. If it doesn't work, be out. I don't know. I don't even know how to do this one. That one just kind of threw me. Take a shot. Don't take 12, take 1, okay, maybe 2, and then move on. You know what? If you take your second one and it's still not working out, walk away. Because if that person's waiting for you to take shot number 3, they're going to be the ones who come after you. Don't fucking force it. Do not fucking force it. Allow that shit to come to you. That's what I need to remember. This is what I was just talking about. Don't control things. Don't control things so hard that they can't get to you. So again, don't fucking force it. Allow that shit to come to you. All right? You do you. Stop trying to change people. That shit never works. Seriously, don't try to change people, okay? If they want to change, they'll change. If they need to heal, they will heal. You can guide them. You can help them. But you cannot force people to be who you want them to be. Okay? That's the same with kids, guys. Let your kids be your kids. Okay? Just, you know, all the parents I know let their children be who they want to be. Well, the majority of the parents I know let their children be who they need to be. You know, I see baby sibling, I see baby bear, and they're so open and honest, and they communicate with their children. And they just let them be who they want to be. And it's amazing watching them grow. And I'm only using them as examples because I literally see them the most or talk to them the most. But so you do you, all right? Stop trying to change people. That shit never works. And here's the last one. Love. Oh, love. Aww. Get some, give some. It will cheer your ass up. Get some and give some. I love my siblings. I love Baby Bear. I love my dad. My dad texted, well, I was talking to you. That's why I'm like, oh, sorry, hold on. Because I never know what... I forgot to put it on Do Not Disturb. But get some, give some. It will cheer your ass up. Give somebody a hug. Maybe somebody needs a hug, right? Everybody needs a hug at some point. So, I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day. Take care of yourselves, guys. I know it's Monday, but you got this. You've got this. This older sibling and I are already just kind of like, oh, it's going to be like melting, face melting heat this week. And I only say face melting because, hi, it's still spring. Today it's going to be in the 70s, and then the next few days, 89 through 92. Yeah, I know. Hi, summer. But we got those hot winds blowing through. So I'm going to leave my hair down because I'll tell you, I love it when the wind blows through my hair. Something magical about that. Even when I know I have curly hair, so it tangles the shit out of my hair, but... and beach days, right? I'm grateful that I live in a place where I can go to the beach. So, yeah, I know. Baby Bear said us too. So just into conversation. So we're done here, okay? But I'm going to answer this one. Baby Bear, I have noticed when talking with baby sibling that our weather seems to be very similar lately, except that we don't get into triple digits in the summer. But we seem to get the same rains, the same winds. Out here we call them the Santa Ana winds. I don't know what they call them in Tucson. But Tucson definitely gets more rain than we do. But yeah, our weather seems to be kind of like we're twinning in some way. So yay for that. But anyways, tomorrow, Tuesday Thoughts. No idea what we're going to talk about. I'm sure it'll be interesting. I don't know, tooting my own horn early. Oh my god, I cannot talk. Tooting my own horn early. Or maybe I'll just trip all over it like I did today. But yeah, so you know what, guys? Don't force anything. Okay, don't force anything. Just go with the flow. You know, just like the very first card we got in the guidance. Live free. By your own rules. Just go with the flow. Let life come to you. Let life happen to you. And just be a part of it. Enjoy it. Be present in the moment. Don't live so far into the future that you can't enjoy this moment. Don't live so far in the past that you can't enjoy this moment. Your past is behind you for a reason. It's behind you. Leave it there. And it's hard, but leave it there. Every so often it might rear its ugly head. Maybe it's a lesson. Maybe it's something you need to use as advice to give to somebody else. But leave the pain behind you. Your story will always be your story. But you don't need to carry the pain with it anymore. Okay? You can share your story and you can remind yourself, yeah, that's not a place I want to go to anymore. This is why I've gotten better. This is why I do things to help other people. Okay, so 8:30 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. I'm not going to get used to that. 8:30 a.m. tomorrow morning in California. Okay, that's when it starts. Wherever you are in this world, that's where it starts. 8:30 a.m. SoCal. Have a great day. I will see everybody tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching.